Hey, what's up, you guys? Coach Joey here. I think it's Wednesday, middle of the week. It's January 6th, and heading back to the gym this afternoon, about 1:30 in the afternoon. So I want to come in with a message of the day. This one's a little bit more serious than some of the other stuff I like to talk about. Still fitness related, but something to think about. So I'm going to call this message, Put Your Mask On First. And the reason why I'm calling it that is anybody who's ever traveled before, you get on an airplane, they start doing their pre-flight announcements, and they go over all the things that you need to do. And they always come out with the little oxygen mask in the event of an emergency. The mask will fall down from the ceiling of the plane. Please put your mask on first before you attend to everybody else. The reason why they do that is because if you are an adult and you have a child, and the mask falls down and the child cannot put their mask on, and you go to put their mask on, you get their mask on, but you're in an oxygen deprived environment, and by the time you go to grab your mask, you're not able to coherently make it happen because of the lower amounts of oxygen, and your child isn't able to help you out. So now you're stuck without a mask on. Or worst case scenario, you go to help your child and you're fumbling around and you can't get it on your child and you're oxygen deprived and you pass out, and now your child can't help themselves. So when we use this theory in life, one of the biggest things you have to think about, especially when you talk about your children, is taking care of yourself first. And I'm bringing this up not because I'm selfish, but because when you think of the obesity epidemic that goes on in our country, and the people who make inappropriate decisions as far as health and wellness, nutrition, and all of those other things, whether intentional or not, one of the things that I hear a lot when people come into the gym and they're getting ready to get started is all of the restrictions that they have because of activities or school or whatever the case is that their children are involved in. So they're like, well, I can't come at this time because I got to get little Petey to school. He gets off school at this time, so I can't go at this time. He has T-ball at this time or this time, and he can't do it at this time. So they end up blurting out all of these reasons why they can't do that because they want to be there for their kids. And listen, I have 2 little girls. I want to spend as much time as I can with them. But here's the kicker. In the long run, let's say you're somebody who's 35 years old. You have your first child, and you're considered in that mildly overweight to morbidly obese range. So you're carrying anywhere from about 50 to 100 extra pounds of fat or garbage on your body. The truth, the hard truth, and like I said, this one's not that fun today, and I apologize for that, but the truth is you will die. Your life will end sooner because you're not taking care of yourself physically. Now, here's the other kicker. It doesn't take a lot to keep in reasonable shape. I'm not talking about training as an athlete or going to the CrossFit games or doing all of these things. I'm talking about general health, because I meet people every day and they tell me that they have young children. And here's the facts, ladies and gentlemen. If you're 35, you have a 2-year-old, you're 100 pounds overweight, there's a really good chance you're not going to be there to watch them graduate high school. There's a really good chance if you have a little girl, you're not going to be there to walk them down the aisle the day that they get married. And because you're choosing to use taking your 4-year-old to a ballet recital or plugging in that excuse because you feel like you have to be there for your kids. And I get it. People have, like I said, I have 2 little girls. So I understand where you're coming from when wanting to be there for your kids. But you can't just look at the now. You have to look at the future. You have to take care of yourself first in order to be there for your kids in the long run. The small sacrifice now will pay dividends in the long run. And let's say, well, Joey, I'm not that overweight. I don't think I'm going to have any problems. I go to the doctors. They tell me I'm fine, this, that, and the other, yada, yada, yada. And you see your child graduate high school and you walk your daughter down the aisle. But how far is that quality of life going to last? You know what I mean? No one wants to be a burden on their children as they're getting a little bit older. You want to be able to take care of yourself. You don't want to leave that to your kids. Well, I'll tell you this. If you're somebody who ends up with heart disease, lung disease, high blood pressure, stents in your arteries, all of these other things, your kids are probably going to be the ones who are always, trying to take care of you at that point. And not that I think there's anything wrong with that, but like I said, put the mask on first. This isn't a message about neglecting your kids or being selfish. It's actually the most unselfish thing you can do. If you have a hard time getting involved in fitness, don't think about it for yourself. Think about the long term. Think about the grandkids that your kids may have one day, and you want to be 65, 70 years old and be able to get up and move around and play with them, all right? So keep that in mind. A little bit more nitty gritty today. I'm usually pretty upbeat with the messages, but this is fact. It's the beginning of the year. I talk to a lot of people and I hear the same things when they're coming in telling me why they can't work out. So put the mask on first. 3 days a week, 30 minutes to an hour a day. Don't go longer than 2 days in a row without exercising. Don't always eat the bad food. Every once in a while, throw something in there that's just not bad or healthy, or you cook it, or whatever the case is. If you guys need help getting on track, you know where to find me. We're at CrossFit Ocala here in Ocala, Florida, over there by the Target. You can give me a call at 352-694-3333. We do nutrition consulting. We do exercising in the gym. We have a bunch of different programs. We have CrossFit. We have boot camps. We have strength programs. Just do something to get yourself on track. But remember, mask on yourself first. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful day. Anybody who is a part of the gym, I'm looking forward to seeing you there this afternoon and evening time. And let's make it rock, you guys.